Aries, hello, and welcome to your winter 2023-2024 shapeshift reading, where we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the winter season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by the gorgeous new Starlore Astronomical Tarot. This is a minor arcana deck of engraved illustrations from historical playing card artwork over 300 years old. So I'm really excited to see what the stars, the constellations in the skies, have to say for your shapeshift this winter. All right. Aries, you know, I almost did your reading last night. As you can see, it's broad daylight this morning, but I almost did your reading really late last night because I kind of just like felt it suddenly wash over me that it needed to be this like candlelit, late night, really quiet, really intimate kind of darker ambiance reading. That's not how things worked out logistically, but that is the energy that I'm still feeling this morning for you. So let's just imagine we're like late at night, cup of tea, low lit candles, sitting here chatting, and let's see what the cards bring. One more. Okay. You know, that like nighttime darkness, just still quiet, maybe a little somber, feels like a continuation of the energy that I pulled for you in the fall. That reading, your fall shift reading 2023, that's called Heartburn. Maybe just as a point of reference for where we might be entering this next shift. Okay, so this is a new to me deck, so we're gonna learn it together. Wow. Let's take a look. Oh, man. The water fire energy is just so strong here. The thing that's sticking out to me the most is this Queen of Wands or Clubs card, which is actually represented by what looks more like the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Wands here as the Cup constellation, surrounded by the Six of Cups or Six of Hearts, shown as the Aquarius constellation. So that water bearer pouring the water out, and then we have it maybe into the cup, or maybe just like slightly missing the cup. There's something interesting about that maybe we'll get into. And then the Knight of Diamonds or Pentacles shown as a firebird, the Phoenix. So I like to see the Phoenix here coming off of your previous reading called Heartburn, which was very much the Five of Cups energy, which I'm still sort of seeing here with that like emotional, difficult, emotional internal space that you may have found yourself coming out of. And it looks like this shift is you rising as the Phoenix, as the fire sign that you really are. I imagine as a fire sign, Aries, it's really hard to get sort of, it's hard to sink into the depths of the water when your nature wants to be flaming, wants to be ablaze, wants to be fed by the oxygen of the open air, which is not available to you when you're in that water space. And so this Phoenix rising feels like maybe the Phoenix rising up out of the water. And I'm actually kind of happy to see the empty cup In the center, it's a vessel that can hold the water, but the water is actually being emptied in the Six of Hearts. Okay, so that's where we're starting here. It looks like you're the phoenix rising, your fire, your nature is rising up out of that heavy emotional place and finding maybe a little bit more freedom in the oxygenation of like that open air that feeds your flame and really brings you back to yourself, makes you feel like your energy is alive again. Aries is alive and well. I'm happy to see that. That's kind of cool. Maybe I needed to feel that like deep, dark solitude sinking space last night and just feel through that. And then it's interesting that the reading is actually being recorded in like the bright light of day. And so that seems to be where we're going, is more of this phoenix energy. Rising out into the air, like you're coming back flaming. Okay, so I'm gonna consult the guidebook here and see if we can get any tidbits on these cards. I'm gonna start with this Queen of Wands being represented by the cups. The cup, excuse me. Let's read about it. So I'm not going to read the full thing. This guidebook is really amazing. By the way, the author is, or the person that restored this artwork and formatted it for tarot is Natasha Rowland of Urania Press. And so Natasha offers a lot of really amazing, just like star lore and location of the constellation in the sky, things like that. I'm going to make that information in the guidebook available to the Shifting Space members. So if that's something you're into, you might want to consider becoming a part of that space. So members, y'all will have access to this, but for now, I'll just read bits and pieces so that we can get the idea. So beautiful. It already feels like Aries energy. The Queen of Wands, aka you, Aries, has an unquenchable thirst for arts and nature, and yet can never seem to fill her cup enough with wonders and of natural beauty. And yet this persona is filled to capacity when she holds sovereignty with the land as an empty vessel, one moment to be filled the next, emptying out in flourishes, ready for the next inpouring of primeval energies from the fountain of creative life. She acknowledges her soul's purpose as a quest for the Holy Grail, seeking to be a vessel of honor and integrity and a passionate communicator of truth. Magnetic, charming, yes, artistic, energetic, okay, generous. Her vitality is erotic and sensual. She keeps the hearth warm and the table abundant with all the goblets and serving bowls brimming with creative nourishment and abundant ideas. In this energy, enjoy one-on-one partnerships in order to fully resonate and connect. Be generous and nurture the landscape, drawing its greening power, healing, and pastoral pleasures. Okay, the embodiment of the Queen of Wands thinks magically and poetically and is enthralled by her visions, passions, and dreams. She has the ability to derive meaning from the patterns she observes around her. She feels intuitively, deeply, and viscerally and strives towards spiritual fulfillment and perfecting herself without ego, stress, or judgment of self or others. Interesting that I almost said protecting herself. Seeing as you may be, if you've been resonating with my readings over the seasons, you may be coming out of this kind of heartburn space. Now I'm wanting to sort of rearrange the cards this way. If you're coming out of that heartburn space, you may be feeling a little bit protective, Aries, protective of your emotional space, your heart space. But basically what that Queen of Wands energy speaks to is this cyclical filling and emptying that is actually pretty natural to your emotional rhythms and like the rhythms of your fire. maybe it's quite natural actually for the flame to dim and be doused even at times. I'm thinking about like Saturn being in Pisces over the year and all of the flooding we had in 2023, like globally. Just that like allowing yourself to get drenched by certain emotional experiences or certain connections or certain, you know, like things that you're going through, trusting that because of your innate passion and fire and heart, that flame can never be fully drowned. You can get doused, but you can't be drowned. You know, it's like putting out a fire and you dump like an entire gallon of water on it only to look out later and see another little flame going. And it's like, what? You know, like I put that fire out. How is it still alive? But there was like a couple embers, a couple coals next to some dry material that just, you know, and that's you, Aries. You're always going to reignite. And this reading feels like a reignition for you. You had the dowsing where maybe like last season, this cup was full to the brim and you were brimming with emotion and maybe even like sort of sludging or trudging through it, trying to find your way to the surface. And then there's been maybe, or there will be over the course of the winter season, this pouring out or this emptying of that vessel so that you can now turn your attention to your fire, to your creativity. You know, Aries, I love that description of the Queen of Wands as someone that like has this just blazing creative passion for life and for everything around you. Absolutely the Phoenix as the shape you're shifting into this season. Amazing. The Phoenix has the Knight of Pentacles, which is an interesting, because I tend to think of the Phoenix as something that just like bursts into flames and like flies into the sky really fast. But the Knight of Pentacles in the tarot is a slower moving energy. So maybe we'll read from the Starlore book here in the extended as we get into it to see if there's any juice in there. But maybe, again, like the slower moving Phoenix, give yourself some time to rebuild, to for the still burning embers to find each other and find some dry material and begin to ignite. You know, sometimes that reignition, once a fire goes out, takes longer, it takes a little bit more time, but then once it gets going, you know, so patience. But again, patience, because this is your natural cycle. The filling to the brim and then the total emptying out that reignites the flame, and then the gradual fill to the brim and then the emptying out and then the reignition of the flame. Cool. Interesting energy. I'm loving this so far. So we're going to get into it now. I'll pull some more cards. I've got the Golden Tarot here and the Illuminated Earth Oracle. So we're going to pull some details here and see if we can get a little more nosy and get into the specifics of what this might be looking like and feeling like for your winter experience. So if you'd like to follow me for the rest of that reading, you can click the link in the description box below, and that will take you to the shifting space. This is the space where we investigate these shift readings over the course of the season together. We will see not only like how the signs are moving through the shapeshifts in the cards, but how that's corresponding with the astrology. So if that's something that you're into and you want to investigate with us, check out the space. We'd love to see you over there. And again, you'll have access to much more of what the Starlore Tarot has to offer in the space. Hope to see you there.